It's very common for your casework to not have countertop associated with it. And part of the reason behind that is that as you're buying your casework, you may decide to have a countertop which is a certain length, which is much longer than the casework, the individual pieces of casework that you would need to install. So the casework will get installed in first, then the countertop on top of that. To place your countertop, go to the Architecture tab, then select on Component. Then underneath Properties, you'll find that we have a variety of different countertop that we can choose from. I think that I'll choose the countertop with sinkhole. And the reason is that where we'll be placing this countertop, there will be a sink in it. Choose the 24-inch depth, and then zoom in to the kitchen area here on the first floor. I can tell by the little double lines that are up toward the top of this countertop we're getting ready to place in that that's essentially the backsplash, which means that the countertop itself will need to rotate around 180 degrees. To accomplish that, I'll just hit the space bar on the keyboard, do it once, it rotates it once, hit it a second time, and it rotates it 180 degrees around. I'll come over here, and then we need to place this countertop right there. I'll hit the escape key. Next, we need to make adjustments to the countertop so that it happens to be the right length. So I'll grab on to the little double arrows here. In fact, I'll even lock that in the position so that it can't move again. Next, I'll click on the arrows here, try to move this out. Unfortunately, we can see that when I locked onto this, it's trying to lengthen the countertop out, and it's actually bringing the piece of casework out along with it. So I'll need to make an adjustment to that. I'll click on the arrow over here, try to get the sink centered in where it's supposed to be at. Pull this back, maybe lock that into place. Now we can see that there's also dimensions associated with this countertop, and I may need to adjust those just so that I'm not constantly moving these back and forth. It kind of depends on how the countertop family was put together. Click here, pull this back, get the casework all lined up. I can even use the arrow keys on my keyboard if I wish in order to make sure that these really do end up touching each other. Once everything's in place, I'll click off of it. And now let's take a look at this by placing a camera inside of the scene. If we come up here to the View tab, what I can do is go to 3D View, say Camera, click once in this area, and then make sure that this cone is looking completely at where we just placed our casework. Then click in order to take a look at our new countertop as well as our casework that's been placed. The next thing we'll need to do is come in and place a sink.